Welcome to Life Transformation Radio. This show is all about life transformations and our journey from where we were to why we are doing what we are doing today. We will discuss the hiccups, the roller coasters, and the blood, sweat, and tears that has been poured out while discovering our purpose. It is all about our transformation. Here is your host, Sean Douglas.
Good afternoon and good evening, and welcome to another episode of Life Transformation Radio. I'm your host, Master Resilience Implementer, TEDx speaker, business positioning strategist, and author, Sean Douglas. This show is currently heard in over 74 countries. So whether it's your first time joining us or you've been listening to us for some time, I want to thank you to those who are listening from wherever you are. Life Transformation Radio is all about our transformation. Here, we tell the stories of why we're doing what we're doing. We highlight that transformational moment that changed our lives and how we use it to then transform others and elevate their lives as well. You can listen to us live right here on the Blog Talk Radio Network, Tuesday through Friday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Join our Facebook community, Life Transformation Radio Community, and you can interact with the guests that I bring on the show and ask any questions, and I will ask them here on the show live. I ask that you subscribe, rate, and review the show on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spreaker, Spotify, TuneIn, Player FM, Radio Public, Overcast, CastBox, the Himalaya app, the Google Play Music app, or wherever it is that you listen to podcasts. I would love it if you subscribe to the show and then leave us a rating or review. Let us know how we're doing. On the show, I bring on entrepreneurs, speakers, business owners, coaches, podcasters, authors, basically amazing people who are impacting the world around them. And my guest today does exactly that. If you have any questions for any of the guests that I bring on the show during our live broadcast, call us up at 657-383-1109. Again, the number is 657-383-1109. And with that, please help me welcome to the show my guest for today, Tim Bratz. Tim, welcome to Life Transformation Radio.
Sean, excited to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Dude, I'm so pumped to have you on the show. I've got a lot of friends in real estate. I wholeheartedly believe in passive income. You know, they got guys like Gary Vaynerchuk are always talking about there is no passive income. There is, there is none of that, so-called I'm going to build a lifestyle where money just flows from the internet and I'm going to be smoking weed in Jamaica on a beach, As I agree to a point, there is a way of building passive income. It takes a long time, but there is a way to build passive income where you just make money while you're sleeping, which is horizontal income, as opposed to making money while you're awake, working at a job, as I call vertical income. So I'm so pumped to dive in to what those are, how you did it, and you and I have a couple people in common. So I want to give a shout out to our buddy Len Giacola. Dude, Len is freaking a rock star. He's amazing. I'm going to tag him here on social media, but I want to hear from you, man. How the heck you doing?
Everything's going great. Yeah, Len's a stud. He's got a lot going on, man. He's raised a phenomenal couple little girls and real big influencers at such a young age. So I have a ton of respect for Len. But yeah, man, everything's going well on my end. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I say he's awesome.
Everything's going well. Everything's going well, and I'm just I buy apartments. I got started in real estate in the residential realm. Moved out. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio originally. Moved out to New York City after college. My brother was living out there, and everybody's making money in real estate, and so I decided to get a real estate license. And I brokered retail and office leases. And so all I did is I went and it took me about 6 months to close my first transaction, a lease transaction on a little 400 square foot retail space. And we signed a lease with a falafel shop for $10,000 a month on a 12-year lease term for 400 square feet with 4% annual increases as well. And you do the math on that, and you're like, holy smokes, this guy's going to make almost $2 million off of one small retail space. He had 8 of them. This was one of them, and the smallest one. And then he had 15 stories of apartments above it. And I'm like, dude, I'm on the wrong side of the coin. I need to be owning real estate instead of brokering it, right? And so I went down this path of residual income, of passive income. And I think a lot of people confuse the two. And what you're talking about, that horizontal income, that's residual. That's doing something once and then getting paid on it over and over and over again. You know, passive income is doing something or earning income when you're not doing anything at all, right? And so I do believe in passive income. I do believe in residual. There's a lot of different forms of residual income, but it can still be active, but you can continue to grow that, right? But man, at the end of the day, like it's not hard work. You know, it's harder to go to work for somebody else for 40 years in order to retire on less money than you couldn't already live off of for the first 40 years, right? Like that's hard.
Oh, for sure.
You know, like building a business and being an entrepreneur, like that's hard, but it's really for a season of your life. And then once you know what you're doing and you know how to build a team and you know the basic elements of business building, the human resources side, the operations side, the marketing, the accounting, the finance, the cash flow management, all that kind of stuff. Like those are the basics that transcend every industry, every product, every service. And once you know that, then when you have that dialed in, then you can really, you know, start buying residual assets, which is what I do. I buy apartment buildings now and then layer it with a business that operates whether you're there or not. And so what I've tried to do is build a couple of layers in there. So I have residual income producing assets. I have a business that pretty much passively runs. I come in once a week and meet with the operational team, and I'm really only needed when we're buying more properties. If I decided to stop buying today, then I could go, you know, sit on a beach somewhere and drink little umbrella drinks and hang out if I wanted to. But yeah,
cool,
man. I mean, it's so today, you know, I went through the whole, you know, flipping of houses and then got into like some smaller rentals and multifamily, like smaller stuff, and then got into apartments and really have been diving into apartments hard and developing that side. And so today I'm talking to you with a little over 3,200 units in my portfolio.
Holy crap.
And yeah, man, it's been pretty wild. So it's been a pretty wild ride, but it's good.
200 properties.
3,200 units. So I have about 50 buildings.
Okay.
About 50 buildings.
I was like, wait a minute.
Range from.
I was like, let me clarify this. I was like, he owns half of New York City. Got it.
Not quite, but I have 3,200 tenants. You know, like I have some apartment buildings that have 200 units. I have some buildings that have 85 units. I have a couple office buildings that are 15 units. So it just kind of depends. But I have about 50, I'd say around 50 properties, with a total of 3,200 units. So it's about $250 million worth of property. So like that's cool. But what's even cooler is the lifestyle that it conveys, right? That it offers me, that it offers my family, that it offers people we care about, and the impact that we can make by having that income and those assets.
For sure. Man, this has been amazing, and we haven't even really dived in, man. This is awesome. So what I want to do is I want the audience to learn a little bit more about you. So the title of this episode is Building Wealth Through Passive Income with Real Estate Investor Tim Bratz. Tim is the CEO and founder of CLE Turnkey Real Estate, a real estate investment company that acquires and transforms distressed apartment buildings into high-yield assets for their own portfolio. Working in real estate, Tim has built a passive business and created a residual income that allows him to live the lifestyle of his choice. He's here to educate and empower others to become financially free through commercial real estate. Tim educates and empowers entrepreneurs to achieve passive income and financial freedom through real estate investments. Tim has a great story of how he used his experience as a commercial broker in the competitive New York City real estate market. He saw the true potential of investment real estate to transform personal finances and provide financial freedom. His website, CLEturnkey.com, Charlie Lima Echo, turnkey.com. Go to LinkedIn and Facebook. It's right there in the show notes. Connect with him and let Tim know that you heard him on Life Transformation Radio. Tim, I got to know, man, what is your why? Why do you do what you do?
Oh man, good question. I would say, yeah, I think a lot of people say their kids and stuff like that. Like, my kids are going to be okay, right? Like, I've conveyed wealth to them, and they have property and estate and all that kind of stuff. They're going to be okay. And for me, I'd say it's making an impact that goes even beyond my kids, right? Beyond my family. So I'm big on legacy, but to me, legacy is not leaving a bunch of property and a bunch of treasure to your family. It's more about leaving a mindset and leaving a mindset to make an impact. Like, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, full-time volunteer my entire life, right? My dad was a police officer. And so I have some values instilled in me by them to make an impact, and make a positive impact. And I think when you have the ability to go out and be an influencer and make a positive impact on people's life, I think you have the responsibility to do that. And so for me, man, it's just I think wealth and I would say money overall, but really wealth and wealth creation is like sunshine. Right. I think there's plenty of sunshine. Like, you getting sunshine doesn't take any sunshine away from me, Sean. So right. I think wealth is very similar, where I can educate you how to go out and build wealth and build financial freedom, and then create this ripple effect where then you can go share it with people, and all of a sudden, what's the story about Babylon was the richest city that ever was, yeah. Because everybody understood about money and wealth and buying assets and not buying liabilities, and there's plenty of that to go around, and you can create wealth out of nowhere. And so I don't think it's fair. I think it's very selfish to not help people and not pay it forward when you have the ability to do so. And it goes to the whole, the Spider-Man kind of quote, right? When you have with great power comes great responsibility. And I think people like you with a voice, and people like me with a voice, who have influence and can make an impact, I think, again, we have the responsibility to do so. So that's a big driver for me, and a big why of why I do what I do.
Very cool, man. I absolutely agree. If you have the ability to give back, teach, train, whatever, I don't. And now, I don't know, maybe it's because I come from an entrepreneurial family. My sisters, my mom, my aunt, my uncle, I mean, just all, entrepreneurs, on my mom's side. My dad's side, not so much, except for my grandfather. My grandfather was really the only kind of entrepreneur. Like, he'll flip cars. Believe it or not, my grandfather used to flip birds. I'm not joking. He would raise pheasants. He had over 1,000 pheasants, and he raised pheasants. I went to a bird show with him one time, and a beautiful, beautiful golden ears, what they call them. Golden, shiny chest on this bird, red and blue feather. I mean, beautiful bird. So he had these birds. They laid eggs. He raised them. Had like 8 or 9 of these chicks that had, he'd basically raised up, right? So he has all these birds, and he takes it to a bird show, and he got $500 for each of those birds. Sold them all. $5. I was like,
wow.
What the hell? Like, I'm in a wrong business. Like, I'm just looking at all these guys. I mean, they're raking in hundreds of and thousands of dollars on these birds. Like, he walked in and bought like a bird to mate with the bird he already had. So maybe $500, so 1,000, let's say. He's 1,000 in and had 8,000 to return. I'm not great at math, but that's a great, fantastic ROI, right? So yeah. I'm like, he paid 1,000. I'm like, that's awesome. So I just look at it as there's so much abundance everywhere. And I love that you get sunshine, I get sunshine. We're good. It pains me to talk to people and try to get them to see that the abundance is everywhere. You just need to know where to look. And it's a learned behavior. You got to learn to use that mindset of just abundance flows to me. Wealth and it just comes to me. It flows to me, and then I can use it and, whatever. So what I want you to do is talk about a transformation moment, because that was mine. That moment at the bird place, whatever it was, the swap meet, whatever it was. What was a transformational moment that changed your life and put you on the path to what you're doing today?
Oh man, there's a lot of little things that add up But then there's a couple of big things that kind of change your trajectory and change course and really make things clear. And I think early on when I was in high school, like what really made me pay attention was my dad worked a full-time job, right? He was a police officer, but he had a part-time business that was in the security business. And I was, like everybody else, told go to school, get good grades, graduate so you can get a good job, that kind of stuff, right? But my dad made twice as much, almost 3 times as much money in his part-time business than he made on his full-time job. Jeez. And again, like you, I'm not the best at math, but I can do it enough where it made a lot more sense to go and own a business than to work a job, right?
Yeah.
And so that was a big pivot for me of saying, I don't want to go and work for somebody. I want to go and start my own business. I didn't know what that was until I got into, college, 03 to 07. I'm going through college. And then I see that if you have a pulse, if you can breathe, if you can fog a mirror, you can make money in real estate, right? And as a 20-year-old kid, that was a big motivator for me. And so I got into real estate. Another one was the story that I told you at the beginning of seeing this landlord making this residual income and doing something once, making millions of dollars over the next decade because of it, and thinking, man, I need to be doing that type of real estate. So, and then you go through the whole education phase and analysis paralysis and thinking you need to know everything before you can do anything. And I sat down with a mentor, a buddy of mine who was a mentor, and he kind of told me about some different philosophies and different strategies in making money in real estate. And my mind was blown again, right? And so I've actually used that strategy that I learned at the age of 22, 23 years old to build my entire portfolio that I've built today, right? From a simple strategy of one of my first initial sit-downs with a friend and mentor of mine. And so all those little things have made a big impact. I think what took me from being, and as you go through life, and as you get different levels in life and different levels in business, there's different levels of problems too. And I remember about 4.5 years ago, I was banging my head against the wall as a solopreneur, right? Doing everything myself, finding deals, renovating the deals, raising the money on my own, like collecting rents on my own, doing all that stuff. And like, how do people build a team? How do people build a business? How is this possible? And I got invited out to a mastermind. And for anybody who doesn't know what that is, it's a community of probably about a dozen people, maybe 15, 20, 30 people sitting around a table that just say, hey, here's a strength that I can bring, that I can offer some insight with, and here's the biggest hurdle that I'm facing right now. And again, because the same business elements transcend every industry, we all deal with the same nonsense, right? And so me, an all-consuming problem that I could not get out of my own way, I couldn't see 5 feet in front of my face, to try to take a broader view of my issue, I tell everybody my problem, and the one dude next to me is like, dude, that's no problem. Just hire an assistant, just take all that nonsense off your plate and go focus on revenue-generating activity. And I was like, what? It can't be that easy. He's like, yeah, it's that easy. I did it. I tripled my income that year, And so it's amazing by plugging into that and having a mentor and having a group that you can then reflect on business, reflect on life with, and not only on a one-time basis, but then connecting with them maybe on a quarterly basis, because as you reach different levels, there's a different level of problems. It helped me really punch through any glass ceilings I was facing every single time. And I think that has really given me a lot of quantum momentum, in my business by being a part of many different masterminds. Dude, I'm in 6 masterminds. That's how much I believe in these things. So if I went back to 20-year-old Tim and I said, dude, there's one thing you got to do sooner, it would be join a mastermind.
For sure. And we're starting to see that some mastermind. It's like, I don't know why it ruins. I know what I'm trying to say. It's like, you see a mastermind, oh my God, it's great. And then you get the bad ones in, right? Like the bad one in, they're like, oh, that mastermind sucked, and all he did was take my money, and it was a $2,500 mastermind, and he didn't do anything. And then more of those show up, and then it's like, no, masterminds are great. Like coaches are great. unless you're like a 19-year-old life coach, then he just ruined the business for everybody. It's like,
Yeah.
but I have a mastermind of my own. We got the success core, and we sit there and literally like build businesses inside of there. Like everybody brings their issues and brings their problems, and everybody gets a hot seat, and it's a 40-minute mastermind. That's it, in and out. It's like, what the hell's your question? If you're long-winded, don't even ask it, because it's not. We don't got time for that. And so there's a lot of accountability. There's a lot of high-end stuff that gets in there. I'll bring in like a expert once a month. Like if we all are like, man, I really don't know about this one thing, because you don't know what you don't know, I'll find somebody who's operating at a high level and say, hey, man, what can I do to bring into this mastermind? And that's what we do. So basically, I love masterminds. I think they're amazing. Now we're starting to see think tanks and business incubators. You got BNI and Bunker Labs, and some of them are starting to get like, I guess, commercialized or like monetized, really to like large levels. Bunker Labs is big. You got a BNI, you got, business incubators at colleges and different things. So what was that defining moment? I wonder for you, for the mastermind piece, what was that defining moment that made you do 6 masterminds? What was that moment? You're like, yep, this is it. This is what's working.
I just saw the success that happened, and going back to your point, Sean, it's a lot based on who runs the mastermind, right? And the integrity of that person and the character of that person, and having a mastermind group. It's not an easy task. Like it's about the people who are not in the mastermind as much as the people who are in the mastermind, right? Keeping out the low-level thinkers. Not saying they're low-level people. They just think at a different level, and they might have a little bit too much negativity. That person cannot come in because they will be a cancer to the mastermind, and it will bring everybody else down, right? So, making sure you're as a quick side note, just finding a good mastermind where the organizer has good values that measure up with yours, and you can plug into that one. That's the mastermind that I would join, right? But man, I just saw the return on investment, and dude, it's lonely being an entrepreneur, right? Like it's lonely at the top. I remember my dad telling me that. He's like, the only person you can talk to is you, right? And so to have and be able to get into a room where you can put anything on the table, and that it's confidential, nobody's going to take it outside of that room, and you can be vulnerable and say, hey, here's where I'm really at right now, and have people give you candid, genuine strategies on how to push through that. Man, it was just powerful, and I felt like I wasn't alone anymore, right? And so by having that group and having that camaraderie, and not just friends of a common past, but friends with a common future, because we're building something together, and we're all going places, and we're all making an impact. Like that to me was a big motivator. And so I just got addicted to it, man. And then I saw what it did for my business, the relationships that it built. I got deal flow from it, money flow from it, better relationship with my kids and my wife because of it, because I became a better person, right? It helped me work on me versus thinking it was external factors. And so it made a big impact for me, and I just got kind of addicted. And so anytime anybody's like, hey, dude, you should come out to my mastermind, I'm like, yeah, I'm in, And so I run one myself, and then I'm a member of 5 others. And so it's a lot. I plug into like some of them only once or twice a year, but there's a couple of them that really mean a lot to me, and I'm still a dedicated member of those.
I love it. That's freaking awesome, man. I love it. So I wanted to, we were talking before the show, but I wanted to save it for this. So I'm not in real estate. Got a lot of friends that are. We share some common friends that are real estate investors and different ones. If I had to, and I will, this will be something that I do. And you being a real estate investor, I'm sure that you've seen this before. I have not. That's why I want to do it. So I love that I could talk to you about this, because you buy the apartments and everything. So here's my huge plan. So you can steal this, you can do whatever you want. Royalty checks, I'll let you know where to go, where to send them. So my plan is, and it's funny that you buy distressed, because that's what I was going to do. But here's what I want to do. I want to combine real estate investing with Airbnb. So I will find whatever city, it doesn't matter. I mean, I live in a Goldsboro, North Carolina. It's like 30,000 people. I could maybe see doing it here, but I doubt it. But somewhere like in Raleigh would, oh my God, there's some money in Raleigh, like Charlotte, North Carolina. Definitely probably in Charlotte. Yeah. But I would buy depending on the area, crime rate and income levels and different things, based on economic factors. But I would buy, let's say that economic factors aren't an issue. I would buy, based on the ROI, I would buy a commercial, apartment building, and let's say there's 20 units in there. Let's just say 20 units. What I would do is I would renovate the crap out of it, and I would put in all high-end stuff. I'm talking like cupboards, the island, would be absolutely, if you could go higher than marble, without getting too stupid, granite, marble, whatever. I'm talking, your resort style. So everything is like high value, high dollar, everything, and it's fully furnished. So what I would do is I would create a multi-person, multi-unit, whatever, getaway, as in like an Airbnb, kind of like a resort, and I would build my own resort. And then the people who come there, I would cater to the high-end business people or like speakers or people who frequent the area. And what I would do is on Fridays and Saturdays, I would host events there, live music, live band, whatever. And Monday through Friday, I would host classes. Like, you want to learn business? You come to my resort, you come to my place, whatever, and we host business incubators, masterminds. I would make it a mastermind destination. That's exactly what I would do. I would cater to the entrepreneur. I would cater to the speaker. I would cater to the business owner. And I'd make it an Airbnb to where Monday through Thursday, you stay Monday through Thursday, it's $500. You stay Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's $500. You know what I'm saying? So it's like $1,000 a week times 20 units. That's what I would do.
I love it, dude. I don't know anything about the economics of it, but
you
just need to take action.
Yeah. You were saying you don't know the what?
I don't know the economics of it. We'd have to break all that stuff down, man. But right. Is there a market for it? I'm sure there would be, right? Especially in a cool, like the Carolinas is a cool area. Like, I'm actually looking to move back to Charleston, South Carolina. I lived down there for 5 years. So
nice.
I wasn't far from you, man.
Nice. Yeah, Charleston. I spoke there a while ago. It's very nice down there.
Gorgeous. And so, that's a very, like, a growing area. It's a pretty entrepreneurial area too. There's a lot of good stuff going on down there. So I think there's definitely a market for it. I think there's definitely, you could buy an apartment building and switch it all out. You could just buy a hotel if you felt like it and do it that way.
That would be super cool. But I think that, with this, because what I've learned, because I built 4 businesses, and 2 of them 6 figures. I'm on the brink of getting into the 6-figure mark consecutive. I've been in it, then I've been out. I'm like, I got a 10K month. Okay, not this month. But anyway, I at the end of the year, I should be there. And then my 4th one, I just started. People buy experiences. That's what they buy. People buy experiences. They buy an emotion and justify with logic. I want to create an experience. That's why people go to Florida and go to resorts and go to, right? But they're only there. In North Carolina, they're all up and down the coast. Emerald Coast, Wilmington, Atlantic Beach, Charleston, Myrtle Beach. What are they doing? They're spring break destinations because people are buying the experience. You're on the water, all the hotels. It's the getaway from your life and, whatever else. I want to create that, not in the beachy, resorty type, places, but holy crap, there's one here. For example, if you ever get a phone call to buy a timeshare, go, let's go to Branson, Missouri. First of all, I don't know what the hell that is. I ain't going to Branson, Missouri. But that's where they have a timeshare. Apparently, it's like the, upper east, like Nashville, I've never been to Branson, Missouri. I have no desire to go to Branson, Missouri. However, if we go to Utah, Park City is like right there. I could do it in Park City. Park City is a big snow place, So I want to create an experience, but I want to have it to where I don't just have tenants. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think that that people who frequent the area, I think would be better.
Yeah, I think the play there is either man, I would buy some like big ass mansion that's like over the top in a phenomenal location, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then rent out per room and do it that way, and then almost make it like a franchise. Make it like a franchise across all around the country. So wherever they're traveling to, they can go plug in. They got their ensuite bathroom, you know, have some privacy if they want it. Then they can plug in, meet some other entrepreneurs, something along those lines. I think you might have something there, man. You might have something there.
I'm thinking like cater to the masterminders, right? Because they need to have a place to have a mastermind, right? So cater to the people who own a business, who own, you know, run masterminds or attend events and have them there at this place, right? So it's like a destination, you know, mastermind. Like everybody wants to go to Bali. Like, cool. What's Bali got that I don't have? Well, let me bring Bali here. You know, so that's why I was kind of like, well, let me bring Florida to North Carolina. Let me bring, you know, what is it about that place? Is it the weather? Can't really do anything about that. But what can I control? You know, I can bring in live music. I can bring massages in. You know, build a spa area. Like all this stuff that people love, I could just boop, and then it becomes a destination. Like you have to host an event there. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. And you know, that's kind of where I'd want to go. But I like your thing, man, because in North Carolina they got the Biltmore. The Biltmore is over in Asheville, and it's like something stupid, like 200-room mansion or something. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And they charge people to tour it. They charge people to tour this house. How genius is that?
Dude. So my brother lives in Madrid, Spain. He's an agent, and he works with the feds and stuff. So he's stationed out there, and he just got married out there, and I was out there for about 3 weeks in May of this year. And so when I was out there, we went and toured some different castles and stuff, and I realized the royal family in Spain, you know, now that they can't like live off of just like the taxes of the people anymore, they own 160 castles all around Spain, and they rent them all out either as Airbnbs or for events, or they run them as museums, and that's how the royal family makes all of their money now.
Oh, smart. That's a passive income right there if I've ever heard of it. You know, just runs.
It's been paid off since the Middle Ages, you know?
No joke. Yeah, that thing's been paid off. Yeah, that's awesome. Man, how smart is that? And so,
man.
So when I get into real estate and it, you know, maybe it's my next, maybe it's my 5th business, maybe it's my 6th one. I'm not quite sure. But I will do it, and it will happen. And I'll hit you up, man, and let you know how it went.
I love it, man. I'm excited to hear about it.
Awesome. So as we start to close the show, I always ask, how are you elevating the world around you? You know, we're all about giving back, and the people that are really into the wealth understand that when you give, you get just as much. Life is full of abundance, and if you have abundance, give it, and it just returns to you. It's that law of attraction. I mean, every book talks about it. The Richest Man in Babylon and Think and Grow Rich. Like all these different, you know, books talk about it. So I'm wondering how you elevate the world around you. Are you teaching people about real estate? Are you coaching people? How would someone learn about how you built your portfolio and all that? What does that look like? How are you elevating the world around you?
Yeah, man, great question. I think, and what you said is absolutely true. Like, and probably, like they say, you reap what you sow. I think sometimes you reap much more than what you sow. You know, I think it comes back in a whirlwind to you sometimes. If you're planting those seeds and making an impact and letting it compound over time, man, like there's opportunities that I would have never thought would have been available. But it all came from me providing value, right? Me just driving value. Like, me being on this, on your show right now is from me offering some content and free information on my social media about how I was doing deals and how I structured deals, just on Facebook. And I was just posting things and talking to people about building wealth and acquiring real estate and personal development and some mindset stuff. And then all of a sudden I was approached by some different podcasters, and then like through some other people, got onto some other podcasts, and like just, all this compound effect. And all of a sudden I'm able to then share information across how many countries are we
74
to right now? 74 countries. I'm able to do this from because of, I don't know, maybe planting some seeds 2-3 years ago on some personal development stuff. And so, and then eventually that compounds into you and me getting introduced and you inviting me on the show. So, pretty wild. But yeah, man, I mean, I'm always trying to give value, right? And what I've found is the more value I give, the more opportunities there are for my team and my family and other people to get involved in some stuff. And so I do a lot of podcasts. I do a lot of social media posts and offerings. And I do some formal coaching too. I have an event called Commercial Empire where I teach people how to scale up into buying apartments and stuff, mostly for like seasoned residential investors and passive lenders and stuff. But like that's cool for people who want more formal stuff. But man, I just try to give, because every time that I offer content, every time that I offer insight on how we do deals and I educate people on buying assets versus buying liabilities and how to frame their mindset in different scenarios, and even life advice on what's helped me better manage my time or spend more time with my 4-year-old daughter and my 2-year-old son, like things like that. People hit me up. People send me messages. And they're like, man, that was powerful. Thank you so much. That's the kind of stuff that feeds my soul. And naturally, dude, there's deal flow that comes from it. There's people who are like, man, let me buy a deal from you. Let me sell a deal to you. Let's joint venture on a project. Let me passively invest with you. Let me, do you do any mentoring or coaching? And so it creates opportunities, economic opportunities for me, and has developed a lot of different friendships for me. And it's been really cool in that regard. And I think there's always an aspect of self-interest, right? Whenever you're doing something, you're trying to advance yourself. You're trying to advance something for your family. You're trying to advance something because it makes you feel good. You're making an impact because you want to feel good, right? And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. A lot of people are like, oh, that's selfish. No, it's not. It's like, in order for me to make a bigger impact, I need to build a bigger business. If I want to help 1 million people make $1 million or build $1 million net worth, like I need to go and make money to create a louder voice, to make a bigger impact and be heard across multiple nations, right? And so I think that's okay, And so for me, like I think everything boils down to just giving value and giving quality value and giving a lot of quantity of value, right? And so just educating people and realizing, for any entrepreneurs that are listening to this, that there's a lot of things that that might seem commonplace or common knowledge to you because you've been doing it for so long, but is absolutely mind-boggling to somebody who's not in your field. And so I think, again, going back to what we talked about earlier on, when you have the ability to educate and empower others, I think you have the responsibility to do those things. And so share the knowledge. Let people know what you got going on. Let people know that there's other opportunities out there, that there's bigger potential, that they can be more, that they can do more, they can have more, they can give more, right? I think that's all really, really important stuff to convey to others and empower them and inspire them. And so, yeah, man, that's what I'm 100% focused on, brother.
Awesome, man. Dude, absolutely love what you're doing. And, man, I'm so happy for you, man. Happy for all your success and everything you have going on. It's super awesome.
I appreciate you, dude. Thank you so much. And I appreciate all the value that you provide. You give so much content and so much good value out to everybody who's listening. And man, I'm excited for all the growth and everything that you have going on in your businesses and in your life too. So I appreciate you, man.
Dude, I'm kind of fired up now. Like, I kind of just want to go find an apartment building that's like for sale. I guess that's the entrepreneurial spirit, right? You're like, I got to do it now. Like, I talked about it and I got to go freaking do it. Like, it's kind of like how it went.
You find one, if you find one, you hit me up. I'll help you. I'll help you find the resources to take it down. Management companies, the financing, the cash, whatever you need, man. You hit me up and I'll help you make it happen.
I'd love to do it in Utah. Like, I just think, like, just the way that the economy is in Utah and, you know, the housing market and everything. I don't know. Yeah, man. Oh, freaking excited. I got them all fired up now. I know when it's going to be like a good idea because you get like those chills. You're like, dude, I'm excited. Like, I'm pumped for this. You know, I have a lot of ideas that come through. I'm like, that's kind of stupid. Like, I don't want to do that. That would be kind of dumb. And I don't feel anything. But when I say certain things, I'm like, oh, and then this, and then my brain starts working. Like, ooh, and I can do this, and I can do that, and I can build on that. Other people get excited. Then you know you got a winning idea. So the last thing I want to do before we close is I want to give you an opportunity to do a shameless plug. You can plug friends, quotes, websites, Facebook, whatever it is that you want the audience to know and to do, programs, products, services, whatever it is that you want the audience to know and to do. Shamelessly plug. Go.
Well, I appreciate that. No, I mean, you know, if you're looking for formal education on how to buy apartments, go to commercialempire.com. Right, that's my website on the education side. Commercialempire.com. That's cool. But like, I give a lot of free content, a lot of free insight. Just connect with me on Facebook. Right, I'm very active on social media and on Facebook, and I'm always putting content out there and some ideas and thought-provoking, you know, posts and that kind of stuff, and sharing a lot of really cool resources. So connect with me on Facebook, and let's see if, you know, there's ways that we can help each other grow and be more, do more, have more, give more, right?
Heck yeah, man. I love it. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much for being an amazing guest on the show. If anybody wants to, you know, get involved with the passive income, the real estate investing, the whole thing, man, go to CLEturnkey.com, LinkedIn, Facebook, right there in the show notes, and connect with Tim and tell Tim you heard his episode on Life Transformation Radio. Tim, thank you so much for being an amazing guest today.
I appreciate it, Sean. Thanks for being an amazing host.
Thank you. Life Transformation Radio listeners, an amazing guest impacting the world around him. If anything that we talked about today has resonated with you, please click on the links in the show notes and tell Tim that you heard him here on Life Transformation Radio. If you have any questions for the guests, send me those questions at Sean@thesuccesscore, CORPS, thesuccesscore.com. Join our Facebook group, Life Transformation Radio Community. Leave us questions and connect with the guests there as well. Please subscribe, rate, and review Life Transformation Radio wherever it is that you listen to podcasts. And with that, I close the show by saying, live your brand. Find opportunities every day to live out the core values that you hold deep in your heart. And I call this living your brand. So until next episode, live a great life.